curious what you feel like the biggest lesson that you've learned so far here this year is, now that you're a couple games into the year and you probably feel like you've got a little bit more of a rhythm going.
So I guess I would say the biggest lesson is just to keep swinging. Don't let mistakes get to you, and just keep improving every single play, every single day, and practice. Practice always makes perfect. And the way that we practice, there's a certain way that we do everything, and that's going to prepare us for us going into Saturday. So the way we practice and train and prepare through film study and everything like that is very big in terms of what we do on the field on Saturday.
And when you've gone from film study and practicing during the week to actually translating it on game day, do you feel like what you saw on film getting ready for the game is actually happening, and you're able to, do what you had been practicing versus, hey, I've got to make an adjustment because they did something much different than what we thought?
Every single team is going to always bring in something different against us coming into the game. Sometimes they bring in the stuff that we've been seeing in practices. Sometimes there's a little trick or a gimmick that they do that we also got to work on and improve with. But it's just, we practice so hard and we train and we watch film that, like Coach Day always says, that we should be the fastest and most confident team that we can be because of the amount of work we put in. It's when you don't put in the work, when you don't do the film study and the extra hours out of practice, stuff like that, is when people get nervous and people kind of don't really know what they're doing and things like that. So we always train as hard as we can so we feel as confident as we can be coming into Saturday.
All right, we'll go next to Austin Ward from Letterman Row. Austin.
Nick, your teammates have been raving about the way you played through 3 weeks. We've seen the champion grades. Do you feel like you're playing as well as everybody is saying that you are?
I guess so. I just try to focus on playing as hard as I can to help us win games. That's the end goal of it all. Whatever happens, just happens. Like, everyone, as long as we do our jobs, that's what Coach Jay's always been telling us and all of our coaches. As long as we do our jobs and we play as hard as we can, everything will work out for everyone in the end. So as long as I'm doing my job and I'm working as hard as I can, all the other accolades and how well I'm playing, as long as we're winning games, is the main point for everything.
Thanks, man.
All right, next up, Spencer Holbrook, Letterman Row. Spencer.
Nick, when you grade yourself and you look at what Thayer's done, how much have you been able to learn from him just in this 3-game sample size and build off of what he showed you last year and use it to your advantage this year?
I learned a lot. Especially from him and everyone else that's been behind me, from Thayer and Isaiah Prince and Brandon Bowen, Josh Albee, all the tackles that I played here when I was here, and even the film that I watched of all the tackles prior to my time coming here. I've learned a lot from them, and especially from Thayer. He's been a big help for me from the summer and the spring, this year especially, with me getting into a starting role and things like that. So he's inspired a lot of confidence in me, and he has a lot of things that he's taught me to make me better every single week and every single day through practice and through games.
All righty, we'll go next to Bill Landis from The Athletic. Bill.
Hey, Nick, I know we talked with you a little bit a couple of weeks ago about, just adding on the weight and keeping on the weight and how important that is for you. How have you felt that help you now through your 3 starts, and just how maybe powerful do you feel in the run game because of that?
I feel powerful, especially with the weight behind me and stuff like that, but I also just feel confident as well. That's kind of the big key with it all. At this point with college football and the next level and things like that, it's all about the confidence you have going into a Saturday. And that comes from the amount of film and study that you do, and also the way you take care of your body from nutrition, sleep, and recovery and things like that. So all of that combined together encompasses a really important part of how I go into Saturday feeling confident and feeling ready to go. So yeah, the weight's a part of it, but it's just all those small little things that Coach Day and our whole coaching staff talk about, which is taking care of our bodies every single way we can, every single day.
How much have things just kind of slowed down for you a little bit now that you've got these games under your belt? You had the start last year. Just how much do you feel like you're kind of reacting and not thinking when you're out there now?
That's just something that we try to get everyone to do. Just always react. Don't overthink things. Cut through film study and stuff like that. But, getting a few games in, it always feels a little bit more comfortable getting a chance to play and being able to see things live and in game. But, it's just about how we prepare and the things that we do. So like I feel comfortable, but like every week is always a challenge and we're always preparing. So you can never get too comfortable, especially with college football. So you always got to prepare and keep working and keep grinding to get better.
We'll go next to Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch. Bill.
Nicholas, it strikes me that you and Fair seem to be kind of so different in certain ways. I mean, you know, he had to lose a lot of weight. You had to gain weight. You were a 5-star guy. He was a 3-star guy who started early. I mean, just do you guys see the contrast between you, and how do you kind of look at that?
I mean, everyone has different journeys and different paths. That's why, as a unit, we always try to figure out how people's lives are and the things that they've done to get to the point where they are. But at the end of the day, there's a reason why we were all brought here together at this moment in time. And like, he's like a great brother through our unit and great leader. So like at the end of the day, like I feel like me and him are the same in terms of that. Like we're like part of this unit and we both have the same goals and dreams and ambitions for us to play the best that we can and find a way for us to help Ohio State win games. So in that sense, we're pretty much the same in that. But I mean, yeah, everyone has different stories, and it's just funny to like look at how different people got to where they are and like the challenges that they had compared to other people. And although they're different, we both have challenges that we had to overcome and find a way to push through.
How would you kind of describe your relationship, your friendship with Fair?
Well, Thayer was one of the first people that I met here through Ohio State. And he kind of like took me under his wing, especially when I first got here, because he saw me as like a little brother kind of deal, like someone that was kind of going through everything and trying to learn the offense and trying to get comfortable with Ohio State. So he's been like a big brother to me, just teaching me everything. And it's even funny that he's actually, I think, 2 or 3 days younger than me, technically. But he's been here and he's like one of the old guys here, like one of the old heads. And I'm looking to him like he's like, you know, like he's a guy that's been here forever and I can learn so much from him. But it's technically he's actually slightly younger than me. So it's just funny to look at it that way, you know?
All right. Thanks, Nick.
All righty. We'll go next to Nathan Barrett from Cleveland.com. Nathan.
Hey, Nick, what impresses you the most about Jeremy Ruckert as a blocker?
He's one of the more physical blockers that we have here. I mean, as you can see throughout the games, he's been finishing people all across the field, doing extra effort plays whenever a pass is off, trying to get an extra block. That goes along with all of our wide receivers and tight ends that we have. Like we have a great group of guys that do the extra effort plays even when they don't get the ball at times. And even when they do have the ball, they run hard. And like everyone just understands that sense of like, even though I don't have the ball, everyone works hard. So I think just like our skill group from our running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends, they all share that sense of no matter what we do, they're going to play as physical and hard as they can. And Jeremy's one of those people that you could see it every single day and every single practice, and especially on game days, he just puts it all out on the line.
All right, we'll go next to Dave Biddle from 247. Dave.
Thanks, Mike. Hi, Nick. Coach Day said that you're one of the most improved players on the team from last year until this year. You've touched on this a little bit, but what has enabled you to do that? Is it the confidence? Is it the weight gain, the strength? I'm sure it's a combination of everything. But what's kind of enabled you to be such an improved player this year?
I mean, I think you probably hit it on the head right there. It's just everything's just been going right for me. It's just been on an upward slope from weight gain to learning the offense better through watching a lot more film. That quarantine break that we had to even get even more chances to watch film and things like that. And then just getting a chance to play and go through fall camp and everything. It's just the whole encompassing feeling of just getting more confident in every single facet. And it just kind of culminated together to where I am right now. So it's just everything kind of pushed together.
Just a quick follow-up. When you reported in, I believe, June of 2018, do you remember how much you weighed then and how much do you weigh now?
I think I weighed 265 that June, and now I'm weighing 312, 313.
Thanks, Nick. I appreciate it.
All righty. We'll go next to Dan Hope, 11 Warriors. Dan.
Hey, Nick, I mean, when a guy like you comes in as such a highly touted recruit, I think a lot of people expect that, you're going to play your first or second year. But do you think having to wait your turn and having to develop for a couple of years has kind of helped you getting to where you are now?
For sure. Offensive line is one of those developmental positions that every college has. So, like, it takes a little while for people to get it going because it's just such a big jump from offensive line play from high school to college. No matter what high school you go to, there's just a different level and a different toughness and understanding of the game. So that in that sense, the development was really big for me. But everyone has different stories. Everyone has different paths that they go through. Some guys are the big, highly touted guys, and they take a while for them to go and get their start. And other people are guys that you never even heard of, but they come in freshman year and they're ready, rocking and rolling. So I didn't really look too much in terms of I'm that highly touted guy or I'm not that highly touted guy. We never look at it like that, especially at a place like Ohio State. It's just that everyone has their different story, and how they progress and how they develop is just through what they do as a player, and then the confidence they build over time, and then just the program itself building that confidence within the player as well.
How rewarding is it knowing that, after those couple of years of development, that things are really clicking now?
I mean, it's just super rewarding because we're winning games, it's just a great feeling being a part of that, and feeling that I have an investment in how we're winning games. I mean, I felt like I had investment 2 years ago and a year ago, because the way that I practice and the way that I helped guys that were maybe the ones on defense, or the ways that I was able to work hard and show things that I can do during practice for the offensive line as well. I mean, I still felt that same sense of investment because everyone has a role here and everyone has a job that they have to do. But it's just a different type of feeling of investment, which is the same like all the other years. But it's just different when you're starting and getting a chance to play and being able to show that investment with your team.
Thanks, Nick.
All right. Got time for just a couple more. We'll go to Tim May from Leonard Monroe. Tim.
Thank you very much, Mike. Nicholas, I was just wondering, how impressed are you by the depth of the Ohio State playbook or iPad, whatever they've got the plays on, and how much of a stress, I guess, does it, for one of another term, does it put on the offensive line to one play be maybe running power inside, the next play a zone play outside, to a sprint pass package, et cetera? Just kind of give me your feelings on that.
It's kind of hard at first when you first get in here and you're trying to learn all these plays. It's just such an extensive playbook with different types of situations and scenarios. And then even once you get the plays down, now you got to understand, okay, what happens if you see any type of blitz? And then you got to understand, then it comes to more of understanding the concept of things than really just the play itself. So it's just a very big and encompassing playbook. But once you kind of understand one part, everything just kind of builds on each other. And then once you get it down, you just feel very confident and you just feel great about everything, no matter what the situation is or what the defensive front is or blitz or anything.
Thanks, man.
All right, and last question for Nick. We'll go to Patrick Murphy, 247. Patrick.
Nick, when you're named co-player of the game offensively with Justin, Thayer's named a champion, but you have three other guys in the offensive line who didn't grade out as well. What is that like for you, and how do you talk to the guys in a week like this when maybe they didn't play up to the level they wanted to, but you guys on the outside did?
Well, it's always about the unit, and it's about the team. And what Coach Day says is that we always strive for every single person on the entire team to grade out as a champion. So that's always just a thing that we always try to improve on. So, everything is about improvement. So, I mean, Josh and Wyatt, they're both older guys, and they know how things are and they know how things go. So they're just guys that always will improve and keep it going. And me and Harry are both first-year guys starting here. So me and him both have the similar struggles of sometimes having great days, sometimes having bad days. But everyone on our offensive line, they're all amazingly talented, and there's no doubt in my mind that we're always going to perform to the best of our abilities. So that's the last thing I would even worry about with us. We're always going to find a way for us to improve and get better week in and week out. And maybe we have a slip here and there, but that's nothing towards the talent that we have and the athleticism and our minds and the game of football and our IQ. So there's no problem with us there.
And Harry had the 3 holding penalties called in this game. How did you see him react to that as the game progressed? I think they were all in the first half. How did he handle that? You mentioned first-year starter.
Those are always hard moments. I think he handled it well. It's just, he's going to improve and keep getting better. We're going to practice hard. So Harry's the last person I have any worry about when it comes to things like that. He's such a hard worker. He's putting so much time and effort on and off the field. He's one of the guys that watches almost some of the most amount of film that we have here. He studies the hardest, and he plays with great grit and determination. So, like, that's something, like, Harry handled it well, and I think he's going to keep performing well and keep doing the things that he needs to do to get better.
All right, Nick, thank you very much for